Okay, so I've gathered the supplies for our next project, and just so those of you feel a little bit better about it, while I was grabbing my supplies, I did grab my glue, and I glued on the glitter snowflakes to our candy bar, Hershey bar, okay? Snowman Hershey bar. Anyway, this is just kind of a take on ones I've made before, and the ones I've made before are little presents. It's the same kind of thing inside as we're doing here, only normally I use these little plastic boxes. And these came from, I got them at a garage sale, and I've seen them, you know, like at different stores, Walmart, although I haven't seen Walmart in a while. But they're favor kits, like for weddings, and they're clear plastic boxes. And they're like, this was at a garage sale for $5, but I got 3 of these boxes for $5. I talked her down. Anyway, so, and the boxes are around like 2-inch square, I believe. Let's check it out. About 2 1/4 inch, and then the width is about 1 1/4 inch. You know, if you've got cutting machines, those of you that you could probably make boxes. There are also tutorials on YouTube how to make boxes, you know, with paper, and follow the same thing, and you can just make a paper box. Anyway, and so that's the take on this. So it's a plastic box I fold up. I usually add like paper around the edge, and then fill it inside with candy. So let me show you that real quick. So easy. I'm not showing you this box today because the process of the candies and stuff is going here, okay? I wanted to show you something different. I fold up the box, okay? I add a strip of paper around the outside edge. I leave the top open so they can see what's inside. Inside, on the bottom, I will add a piece of cardstock just so you don't see the you know, everything looks finished off. So inside I will like glue a piece of, or tape, use double-sided tape, a piece of cardstock. Outside a piece of Christmas paper. Inside we're going to do the same process as these. I do use Hershey's Kisses. Then I wrap it like a present with sheer ribbon. Okay. I add a bell and I add a little tag, and because I'm using Kisses it says Merry Kissmas. Okay. That's the process. Easy. Showing you how we're going to do this, a little bit different twist. Okay? Alright. And like I said, if you have like cutting machines, you can, you know, find around a 2-inch box and kind of cut it yourself, or you can go here on YouTube and Google how to make a paper box. There's all sorts of different designs. So for this, the die I used, I did do a die. It's a Sizzix die. I got it at like, I think like Tuesday morning or something. This is the die. I wanted a doily that was not hardly at all intricate because I wanted to be able to get it out, take, you know, get all the little pieces out like quick, and use the doily. I didn't want to sit and, you know, brush all the little intricate pieces out. I just wanted it for the cute edge. This is a doily and doily border by Sizzix, and is that a number? I don't have a lot of dies, so is that the number of it? Hopefully so. Okay. Alright, so that's the die I used. Okay. The little bags I use. These are little 4x4 bags. Okay, I get them at our local restaurant supply store. So I'm not helpful there. You could use like snack bags and just make the version but make it longer if you want to buy the bags in the store. Sandwich bags would be way too tall. There is a .com. It's called clearbags.com. They have all sorts of different sizes of bags like this, you know, with the Ziploc top, and you could order them. But that's where I get mine. It's a 4x4 bag, okay? Or you can buy treat bags. If you want to buy treat bags at like Walmart, make sure they're clear bags, or like in the cake section, wedding section, so they're clear. And then you can use like the treat bags and then, you know, maybe just fold it over, you know, and then the doily will cover the top edge. So it'll hide that, you know, staple it. Doily covers it. That's an option. Okay, so 4x4 bags. I have already cut out my cute little doily. Okay, let's go ahead and I just kind of fold it in half. my doily piece, I'm just going to fold it in half. All right. Okay, let me get out my little pieces here. I ran out of kisses, so I had little miniature candy bars. So what I did in mine is I would usually put, let's see what I, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would usually probably put about 8 kisses in there or so. So I've got 7, and then I had some little miniature chocolate bars. So one more that's 8. Okay, so that's what I did. For the tops of my candy bars, you recognize that, right? That is the snowman face we just used on our Hershey bar. All I did was dial it down in the size. Okay, I used my program, shrunk it down, and so I cut out, this is actually 2 sizes. I cut out a smaller face, and then for the Hershey bar, I cut out a larger face. And I believe this is like 1 inch, 1 1/8 inch of a circle punch, and this is just a tiny little oval scallop punch. And that punch is like 1 1/2. And yeah, this is like 1 1/8 inch circle, and this is like a, is that 1 1/2? Yeah, 1 1/2 inch scallop punch. Okay. Let me show you that right here. Okay, so here, 1 1/8 inch circle punch. EK Success, Joann's, Michael's has them, and this is a Marvy punch. Okay, and there's the little scallop. Okay, all right, punches. So, and what I also did is I pre-punched everything out, of course. I punched out one of these, depending on what you use. I punched out my snowman faces. And then I also printed, I figured out what size would fit in the middle of a 1/8 inch circle punch. And I printed the word joy because it's tiny, it's 3 letters, it would fit off my computer. You could stamp a word that says like joy or ho 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 or anything. If you've got Christmas stamps, would certainly work. You don't have to print off your computer. So what I did is printed off just like 4 of each basically. So with my faces, I've got 4 faces and I've got 4 joys. Okay, I inked around the edges with blue ink so that it was, this is again another Studio G ink. I just inked around the edges of my circles. Okay, my scallops, ready to go. And see, here's my thing that I printed out, all my little snowman faces I printed out. And, you know, you get the big, of course, the snowman, you know, and I just cropped off the bottom and then just printed the faces is basically what I did. Cropped off the bottom part of the snowman, used just the face, and then I copy and pasted a bunch of little faces and printed them all out. Okay? So, first thing we got, so I've got a 4x4 bag. And I've got a little piece of cardstock. I decided I wanted to kind of line the back of my bag just to give it a little bit more oomph so it's not just kisses in a bag. So I have a little piece of cardstock here. The length is like 3 3/4. And then the tall is just about 3 inches. Okay? And I made it small just so there's room up here. And I had it taller, but then it didn't, everything in the bag with the thickness of the kisses and stuff like that, it didn't work right. So I had it a little bit smaller so that the bag would fit everything. And I'm just going to ink the edges of my cardstock just to give it a little more oomph. Okay, I'm going to put that inside my bag. Got to kind of fit it in there. There we go. So I've got my cardstock in a bag. Perfect. Now, let's ink the edges of our little doily here. It's something that, you know, it's going to be a little hard to see on camera, of course, but I see it, and I've got nice little cute inked edges. Okay. I kind of do like I've set off in assembly lines. I probably punch all these, ink the edges, punch my cardstocks, ink the edges, punch all my little circles and stuff, ink the edges, punch, again, the scallop punch. Okay, so I'm going to, there's the right side, I'm going to ink the edges of my little scallop punch. I again use that scallop circle like we did on the Hershey bar. And then for this one, you can of course, use another chocolate quote. I made up a quote, and with my publisher program, I did cherish around the perimeter, and inside says, snowflakes warm our hearts with snowflake kisses. Totally cute, right? So, I mean, you can print this out on your computer. Maybe don't put the cherish around it, but you can certainly use that cute little quote. And then you can see how I changed the font on them. Those are different fonts. So, snow friends warm our hearts with snowflake kisses. So, anyway, that's what I did there to make it super cute. So, let's start our assembly line. We've got our little kisses. Okay, let's get those out here. We've got our, this is a fairly quick, easy project. It's nice. We've got our little Hershey bar. All right, I am going to flip all my little pieces over here. Okay, and I'm gonna put double-sided tape on these. I don't want glue. I don't want that. They say non-toxic, but it's next to food. Okay, I don't want that glue on my food. That border is just too thin. So I'm gonna cut us a bunch of little double stick tapes here. Pull it out so I can work a little quickly. Just some little squares of double stick tape. And let me do that off camera so to take less of the time. I'll be right back. So I've got little tapes on all the back of my candies there, and I've got a little tape right here on the back of my little chocolate tag. Right? We're going to call it a chocolate tag. It's a chocolate quote. Let's go ahead and put that onto this. Just center it. Okay, and we're going to take, what I did is I made a scallop one. The reason I used the little scallop punch was so it would fit, you know, the front of my cute little Hershey bar here. So it would have that. That's why I went scallop. If you got all kisses, you don't need the scallop punch. So I've got all my tape sticking up, so I'm just going to take my little kisses and I'm going to center it right in the middle on that tape. Okay, easy. And yes, the kisses are a little bit smaller than my punch. That is okay. I tried to make them, you know, I got this, I didn't want too small, so I'd rather have a little bit bigger circle punch versus too small. But if you've got one that's, you know, closer in size, you could use that. But like I said, I don't really mind if it's a little bit bigger. Okay? Alright, so we've got all our little kisses on there. Our little tags on our kisses. Super cute. I'm going to go ahead and layer in first this Hershey bar because it's a little bit bigger. That's on the outside. This piece of string on the inside. Wasn't sure. So I'm going to layer that in. And I try to layer my kisses in so that you can see them. So let me see what I've got. I don't just throw them in like that. What's good about seeing that? I try to kind of lay them on their side so that you can see at least a few of the faces. Okay? I just kind of alternate when I put them in. But definitely I lay them on their side so that you can see the cute little faces and words. Okay? Just like that. So now you can at least see them sticking up. Okay? Now we're done with that, so we're going to just close our little bag, kind of get all your air out a little bit. Close our little bag. A little air, but not too much. Okay. Little bag is closed. Easy peasy. Now, let's put our little doily on there. And you don't have to even have a doily. You can put a topper on there. You can use pre-made paper doilies. Dollar Tree has the Christmas doilies. They're round. They're reds or greens, or they have, I've seen ones that are blue with snowflakes. You can totally use those. Find the smallest size. That would certainly work. You could also just take and use a piece of paper. Okay, this is too big, but it's just to show you. Fold that paper in half, which we're going to kind of do on the next one, so you'll get to see it a little bit more in depth. Fold that paper in half, and you want it smaller, but you can certainly just do a little square at the top. You could take this, fold it in half, and use a paper punch to give you a little decorative edge. So there's lots of options for this little top. I went with the doily because I don't have any with a little doily on top. Okay, so let me, again, double stick tape here. Just going to put it a little bit near the top. believe it or not, we're just about done with this one. That's why I kind of like it, because it's this one's a little bit quicker. All right, let's get that double stick tape off there. All right, let's put our doily. I like to bring it down just a little bit so it's kind of overlapping onto that cardstock you put inside the bag there. Okay, just so it's overlapping a little bit, and close it shut. Okay, so it's overlapping, close shut. Now we need to take a hole punch, and I'm going to punch a couple of little holes here. I'm going to use, if you got a crocodile, I'm going to use the bigger side. When I punch holes, I like to put them a little bit over to the side here. Okay, that's just me. You can put your holes wherever you want, but when I punch them, I try to punch them through the paper and through the plastic kind of top edge of that bag. Okay, just so it keeps so the paper doesn't, detach itself from the bag as well. Okay, so I put the holes through the paper and through the bag. Okay, a little bit over to the side. Okay, I've got some, again, some twine here, and these are both about 12 inches in length. I've got them pre-cut over here. Let me grab them. Where'd it go? Apologize for that. It was like stuck under stuff. And they're about 14 inches in length. I farted that one too. Brain fart. I've got 2 of them. You can totally use sheer ribbon here, or bow, or gross grain ribbon, whatever you want. I'm just going with the twine method. Okay, so you actually obviously want to put the twine through the holes. Okay, bring it through, and we're going to just kind of do like we did on the Hershey bar. So then we're going to come in here and we're going to tie a cute little bow. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and double knot that, I think. And we're going to do exactly like we did before on our Hershey bar. My cousin laughs at me because she's like, well, what are we going to put on the top of such and such, or the top of that? And my motto has always been, we're going to add a ribbon, a tag, and a bell. Anything we do is we add ribbon, tag, and a bell. So that's our joke. What are we going to put on that? Let me guess. A tag and a bell. Add some ribbon. That's it. Just think about that. So again, I'm going to add a little hole here in kind of the side of your tag, off to the side a little bit. We're going to go in with our little, again, a jump ring. Okay, we're going to feed it through that bow there. Knew that was going to happen. Always trying to do it on camera. Feed it through the bow here. Okay, and then we're going to add our tag. And we're going to add our bell. And we're going to close our jump ring. And we have the stinking cutest little package of candies. I run these at $3 or 2 for $5, and most everyone will always pick up 2. Okay, $3 or 2 for $5. So they have got the choice. They've got these. They've got the little presents, which are also the same, 2 for $5. They can get one of each. That runs really well and it works. So, basically the same as the candy bar, but I put a little sign that's $3 each or 2 for $5. They feel like they're getting a bargain. Okay, so there is that. Let's move on to our final candy item here. Okay, so let's move on to our last one. This is my candy bar bag. There's been a lot of these versions I've seen here on YouTube. So we're just going to go over how to make one in case you've not seen it before. A lot of people use the little ones, kind of the Hershey chunk size. I like to use kind of these snack size. I get them from Walmart. I usually just get one each. I get 2 kinds of bags for the bars, and they're 12 in a kit. Okay, I use 3 per bag. I usually always get the Hershey's and the Kit Kat. Okay, and I'll usually use like 2 of one kind and 1 of another for each bag. So like for this bag, we're going to use 2 Hershey's, 1 Kit Kat. I pick let me backtrack. I pick 3 papers for the candy bars. Okay, I have usually 3 different patterns. So in this case, the patterns I chose, and I allowed them to match, as I chose kind of like this multi kind of red and green dot. I chose a candy cane, and then this is just kind of a reddish burgundy dot. Okay, so those are the 3 colors I chose. All right, and I cut 1 of each one just to fit the candy bars. Okay, just like we wrapped around the Hershey bar. Okay, I take it, fit it to size, wrap it around the candy bar. And there's usually 2 different sizes because the Hershey's are skinnier than the Kit Kats. I mean, you may just go all Hershey. That's okay. So, so this other Hershey, and this for the Hershey, for what I cut is, it's just about, it's 2.5 inches wide and 3 1/4 inches long. That fits the Hershey bar perfectly. Again, with the double-sided tape, I've added a little piece of double-sided tape on both ends, because we all know, right? Don't want my glue on that Hershey bar. Okay, and then I just wrap it, get one side around it, other side around it, wrap it, it's done. Okay, so I've got 2 that way. The 3rd bar in the middle, before I wrap it, for the Kit Kats, that size is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, okay? And then also, which I didn't show you, I've inked around the edges, just like I did, you know, with the Hershey's Snowman Hershey bar, inked around the edges in red on my papers, okay? Before I wrap the one in the center, I always like to add something cute on the center so it's not just a plain piece of paper, okay? So a lot of times I'll add maybe like a snowflake punch, or in this case, because I'll usually use kind of the snowflake punch when I'm working with blues. When I work with other colors, I like to use this little tag punch. This is a Martha Stewart tiny tag punch, okay? I'm talking tiny. It is like, that's like an inch, I think. Yeah, that tag's an inch in length. So what I'll do is I will punch out a tag. What I'm punching out of with the tag is the same color that I'm using for my chocolate tag and for my wrap of the entire bag that we'll get to in a minute. So whatever is kind of your base cardstock color, that's what I punch out of the tag. So let me punch a little tag here. There we go. And then I'm going to just ink the edge a little bit. And then what I do is I like to, since it's so small, I just punch, or not punch, I have these tiny little, I've had these for years, tiny little stamps. And I'll usually do like believe or ho 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 or something like that. So let's go with the believe, okay? And I just go right on my tag there. See if I'm right in view here. I'm kind of far away, but you guys get the gist. And I stamp on my little tag. There we go. Tab. And let me bring it down here. It's so tiny. Right, so I've got a little believe on my tag, okay? Then what I do, remember this is for the 3rd candy bar in the center, because we're going to have them like this, okay, in our bag. So I go, this is my piece of paper, everything's inked, and I just kind of place it right in the center of that piece of paper. I like to place it in an angle, and then you go in and you just staple it. Okay, I usually like staple it underneath or something like that. so it doesn't, you know, interfere with the word. Wherever you can kind of staple it. Keep slipping. I want it a little bit crooked. Alright, I've got a little staple. Okay? Now, we can go ahead and wrap our candy bar. Place that in the center. One over. One over. And our little candy bar is ready. Like I said, on the blues, I will usually staple a little, like white, usually white snowflake. Okay? So there's our candy bars. They're ready to go in our wrapper. Again, with this one, I am with the 4x4 clear plastic bags. Okay? So let's go ahead and place those in, and then we'll come back to this. We'll get them in our bag. It's perfect size for these snack sizes. Okay. There we go. Our bag is in. Candies is in our bag. Ready to go. Now, let's put some wrapping on the outside of our bag. I have cut a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 wide by 7 3/4 long. Okay, what we're going to do is it's going to essentially kind of cover our bag a little bit. It comes out a little bit around the edges of our bag. I like that. Okay, so we're going to fold it over, and let's see. I actually want to go a little bit shorter. I think I've got what did I say, 7 1/2. I'm going to take it down to 7. Okay, let's do that. You think I'd know my measurements by now. I've made it so long. So let's take 1 inch off that real quick. Or 1/2 inch, I mean, off that. I'm going to start with 1/2 inch. Let's see what we got. So our measurement is now right at 7, and that's like, what did I say, 4 1/4. Okay, let's see if I like that better. There we go. I like that better. We're essentially going to wrap this around it. So somewhere right about there. So how far did I go? So about 1 3/4 inches, at about the 1 3/4 inches mark, go ahead and fold it. Okay, 1 3/4 inches. You can use your scoreboard if you want, but 1 3/4 inches fold. This is what we've got. Okay, I am now going to, what am I going to do? Ink my edges really quick. All except this top flap. We're not going to ink that yet. Pretty quick process. Even eat that. Okay. On this top flap, if you do not have an edge punch, leave it plain. It's cute. Okay. If you have an edge punch, I am going to use this Fisker's edge punch. I'm going to use this cute little punch here. You can use any design you want. And we are going to put a little design in the top of that. Okay, we're going to put a little design in our paper. Alright, there we have a cute little edge now. Super cute. Now I'll go ahead and ink that. Just ink that edge a little bit. Okay, the next thing I like to do, if you want to leave it plain, by all means, but I like to add a strip of paper here, the same paper that I usually use for the middle candy bar to kind of tie everything in. Okay, so I've got a strip of paper here. We got to kind of cut it to fit. So just what I do is just kind of right up above your design, because I like my edges to show around it a little bit. And we're just going to cut. This is just a little scrap I had. And we're going to cut that to fit. There's no rhyme or reason for measurements on this. Just kind of cut it to fit. It's just a tiny piece, but it kind of just brings all the candy bars together. Okay? And then I like to ink my edges. Okay, we've got a tiny little piece. Now here's a little trick for you I like to do, because most of you know with my projects I like to do some sewing. Only with these type of little Craft Bazaar projects, I'm not sewing. It takes too much time, but I like to add a little bit of decorative to my papers. Okay, so all I'm going to do is on this piece, and sometimes I will run it on this piece as well. This is from Walmart. It's a cheap, I'm talking like $1.50 maybe. It is a fabric stamp pad. I don't use the foam pad because the foam will break up. You can see how well loved this pad is. It's a fabric stamp pad, okay? Then I use, this is by EK Success. It's called a Cutter Bee. Okay, it's actually supposed to be to perforate your papers, you know, so you can tear them apart for perforation. But it's got this great little blade on it. Okay, so it's a little perforator. All right, what I do is I run this through my ink pad. I get ink on it. Let me come right in for you. Okay, let me come right in for you. I hit the wrong button. So if any of you have these, here's a fun thing to try, okay? So, like I said, I run this little perforator through here, and I come along right close to the edge. I'm going to go all the way around the perimeter with this. Now, you can use a pen if you want and draw lines. You can use a stamp, okay? There are those stitched stamps. They're supposed to look like, you know, you stamp on paper, look like you stitched your paper. Same thing, but I just have this because I don't have any of those stamps. And I don't like to do it just by hand in a pen. So there's some other options for you. And I just go around the perimeter. All the way around. But one of those stitched stamps would be cute, or you can do it with a pen. And now I've got, it just kind of looks like I sewed around that perimeter, okay? And then I'm going to take it and do it on my paper just to tie it all in, just around this top flap, okay? And just around the 3 sides, because I don't really need it where I've got that decorative punch. Make sure I'm in view here for you. Okay, there we go. Now it looks like I've got a stamped edge. Okay, now we can go ahead and add our this piece to our top there. I'm just still with the double stick tape. You can certainly glue here, but I've got this all ready, so double stick tape it is. Okay, and let's add this piece on there. Put it right up here. Okay, now we've got just a cute little stitches, double edge, cute. Let's get this around our bag. I like to add a little tape right here so that your bag isn't flopping side to side. Okay, so I've got a couple pieces of the double-sided tape, works wonders. We're just going to plop a couple of pieces right down here in the center. Alright, and we're going to place our bag, just kind of center that. About like that. I like to bring my bag right up to that fold up there. Okay, now our candy is not going to be flopping all over the place. And then you fold it down. Okay, so this is what you end up with. Okay, what I like to do, before I fold it down, I want to get my tag on. Okay, so let's get my little tag on there. Let's get our tag together. I like to kind of staple my tag on first. Okay, get it on our little thing here. Oh, look at that. I almost forgot to ink the edge. That would have so bothered me. Ink the edge. This one is the quote, "We could give up chocolate, but we are not quitters." Okay. So I'm not going to poke a hole in this one, alright, because I'm going to staple it on. And I'm going to staple that before this flap goes down. So I just kind of pick a spot right about over here. I kind of like to go off to the side. I'm going to put a little staple in it clear up to the top, right on the scallop punch. Not necessarily on the tag itself, but right on that scalloped, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to do just like we did that Hershey candy bag. We're going to punch a couple of holes in here. If you would like, you can add a little piece of tape there. You don't have to because you're going to tie it down, but let's just put a tiny piece of tape there. Okay, let's just do it. Tiny piece of the double stick. We're almost done with this tutorial. Thanks for hanging in with me. There we go. It's double stick. Now we're down. Now let's punch our holes. Again, I'm going to put my holes kind of close to this tag, okay, so that my ribbon kind of covers it up. Okay, I'm going to use the big side. Kind of right close to that tag. I'm going to punch 2 holes. Alright, I've got some sheer ribbon. It doesn't matter how thick or thin you use it. This is just sheer ribbon that I've gotten from Joann's. Just this organdy ribbon. I think Walmart has some of this too, but I get it at Joann's because you get like 15 yards of it and it's like a couple of dollars. So, and this is a 1/4 inch what I'm using here, but sometimes I use like the 1/2 inch. Okay, and then we're just going to string our ribbon through those 2 holes. I get a nice long piece. I believe I probably got a 14 or 15 inch piece here of ribbon. Okay, line them up, pull them through the holes. Okay, remember what I said? What do we do at the top? We've got our tag, we've got our ribbon. I'm going to tie it into the bow, and then we're going to add a bell. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my bow in. I've got the little jump ring through the center. I would actually, this is what I had kind of in front of me, but I think I actually like the 1/2 inch better, but it's your preference, so I'll probably go and dig through my stash and find my 1/2 inch sheer ribbon. But, you know, just an FYI, the 1/4 inch is cute, but I think I like the 1/2 inch better. So let's get this bell on here and get this finished up. You guys have been watching me long enough. I think you might want better things to do, huh? Or at least get some of these made. Okay, so I've got my jump ring closed. My bell is on there. It's hiding my staple. And this is done. Now, if you want, you could totally come in and use maybe like the snowflake punch. Maybe some of these stickers. And you could come up here and add like a couple of little snowflakes. Maybe one down here on the outside of the package. Kind of tie it all in. You could hang something even more from this if you want. Something cute, something Christmassy. And you're done. I run these, and I will probably add like some snowflakes on here. But just for the sake of this video and time frame, not going to do it right now. But just to give it a little more oomph. And I run these about $3. Sometimes $3.50 depending on the area I'm in. But they seem to have no problem with running this at $3. If you want to keep all your candy the same and just say $3 or 2 for $5, easy peasy. $2.50 is not a bad price for this. Those candy bars were like $1.97 for 12. You know, and then just a little bit of paper and a bell and a ribbon, probably about 50 cents in product, and then add your candy bars in there, maybe $1 to make this. So, you know, getting $2.50 for it, totally worth it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the process of making these candy items, these candy products, because they have been, like I said, most requested. I'll be back soon with the entire video of what I made this year for the Craft Bazaar. There'll be other links down below to the other tutorials in case you've missed any of those. If you liked this tutorial and you like listening to me, and you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. Share this video and hit the like button if you care to. Hitting like, not dislike. Also, links down below to other areas where you can see my craft projects. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.